Hi everyone, this is Brandon here. Today we're just going to be doing a little channel update video. Pretty much I just wanted to address the fact that I've not uploaded for a couple of weeks and just basically explain why. So first of all, as I've said, I haven't uploaded for a couple of weeks, and you might be wondering what I've been doing in that time. Basically, I've just been trying to sort of reconnect with the things that I enjoy. So I've been playing some games, I've been watching some TV shows and films that I enjoy. I played through Yakuza Ishin, but okay, it's likeadragonishin. I always want to call it Yakuza Ishin, but they've like recently changed the name of the series back to Like a Dragon, because it's like Ryuga Gotoku in Japanese means like a dragon. I was playing through that and I sort of completed it, I think, like probably about a week or so ago. I enjoyed it. It was probably not as good as like Yakuza 7. I feel Yakuza 7's like the best one they've done for a while. Mainly because they sort of changed the formula, like they changed it from being a beat 'em up into an RPG. And strangely enough, like Yakuza 7 was actually like a better RPG than Skyrim is, and even Fallout 4 for that matter. But yeah, so like I've been doing that. I was watching like the Kung Fu Panda series on Netflix the other day. And that was alright. It's not as good as the films, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and there's like some substantial character development in the show, and I mean I would still recommend it if you like DreamWorks stuff and you like Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, all that stuff. I'd still recommend you give it a watch. And yeah, like I said, I've just been trying to sort of take it easy, try and relax, try and sort of recenter, I guess. But yeah, so like I said, I'm starting to feel better now. I'm starting to feel a little bit more ready to kind of come back and start making content again. Like I said, I'm not going to promise that I won't take another break, because I'm pretty sure that that will happen periodically, and if that upsets you or it's not the way that you like your career is to be, then you might want to watch someone else. Is all I'm saying. Basically, I was just lacking motivation towards YouTube and towards like the whole process of creating content on YouTube, and I just didn't have the energy for it. I'm sure that everybody that uploads on YouTube feels that way at some point or another. I mean, I watch a YouTuber called Call Me Kevin. I'm sure a lot of you probably know who that is. But basically, he did a video not too long ago, basically just saying that he had to limit the amount of videos that he's doing because he's finding that he's just not having time for anything, and he wants to try new things, but he doesn't have the kind of motivation or the time to do it because of the fact that he's making too much content, really. And he basically just said that he would need to sort of start uploading a little bit less, and that's completely fine and it's completely understandable, because I mean, if you've never tried to make a video before, it's very time consuming, and my content isn't exemplary or whatever. It's not amazing, but it still takes a long time to get the videos sort of put together. Obviously the editing process is the longest thing. I mean, it takes a long time to edit. And then obviously the thumbnails. I tend to spend about like an hour, sometimes more, on a thumbnail. Even if it doesn't look that great, it's still like I've put a lot of effort into it. And coming up with titles and stuff, I do struggle with that. I readily admit that I am not a very good title creator, but hopefully over time I will sort of start to improve. I think I have improved already. Like if you look at my like very early videos, and I'm talking about like the ones from like a year ago, like my first video was Pokémon Randomizer, The Adventure Begins or some shit. The thumbnail for that is dreadful. I mean, it's literally just the kind of title screen of the game. I don't think I really put a lot of thought or effort into that, to be honest. Anyway, whatever. So the next point that I have is the next point that I have to talk about is basically just kind of things that I want to improve on, that I know that I need to improve on. First of all, like I've already talked about the titles and thumbnail situation. Basically, I would very much like to improve in those areas. And there's like, again, with vidIQ, they do like community posts like very frequently, like sometimes 2 or 3 a day. Really wish that I could do something like that as well, but I just don't really have a lot to say, to be honest, and there isn't, like, with this channel so far, like, one of the things that I definitely would like to see more of is I would like to see a bit more community stuff, but I understand that I do have to orchestrate that. I mean, you can't have a community if the person who's in charge of it doesn't moderate or doesn't sort of, you know, instigate the kind of community aspects. But I think that just the thing is, I don't really know how to do that. Like, I know that if I make a video, like, say, for example, with my Silent Hill series, like, the first video that I did of that got a number of comments and it attracted some people to the channel, and I know some of them subscribed because they've commented on other videos, and that was nice. I was like, yeah, cool, I've got, like, you know, some comments to reply to, and I've seen it a couple of times where people have replied to each other in the comments and stuff. But if you've got like a channel that's been going for years and it's already gained a lot of attention, a lot of subscribers and everything, and it's got, for lack of a better word, lore or characters or things that you can reference. It's like, again, with Call Me Kevin, he's got a number of characters, like Jim Pickens is one of them, who's like a crazy old man who is like a psychopath and he's a really terrible person, but people love him because he has like a lot of depth and he has sort of like a cult type following, you know what I mean? He has loads of other characters that fall into similar, you know, archetypes and stuff, and whenever he makes a video, he tends to, like, where you can create a character, he creates a character and it feels like that character is instantly part of that domain or whatever. I'm not really sure how to say it, but yeah, it would be nice to have a similar thing going. Like, I'm sure that if I keep doing this for like a number of years, I'm sure that things will start to change and things will start to kind of come together. I mean, I've tried to be as transparent as possible. I've tried to sort of, you know, say, hey, this is me, this is what I'm about, this is who I am. Other than that, I would say that I would like to improve on... I'm gonna sneeze. But yeah, other than that, I think the other thing that I would like to improve on is like my editing skills, because the editing I do might be kind of basic, but I don't think it's bad. But I could do a lot more to improve on that. I tend to watch tutorials and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna lie, I end up having to go back to those same tutorials because I'll be like, oh yeah, that's a cool effect. I do that once and then I don't use it for like a month or two, and then I go back and I'm like, oh god, I can't remember how to do this, so I end up watching the same video again like multiple times to try and remember how to do something. So the last point that I have to talk about is basically just about like the things that I sort of plan to do. So like future content, what kind of games do I want to play? For a while now I've tried to kind of stick to doing PS1 titles, and I have been meaning to play other PS1 games. So there's Star Wars Episode 1, Star Wars... I can never remember what it's called. I'm just going to call it Star Wars Masters because I can't remember. It's like a fighting game, but I can never remember the exact title of it. And then there's also that Power Battles as well, which seems very similar to Episode 1. I think they were made at like the same time, but it has a few sort of Jedi in it that weren't featured much in the films, but they were featured in the Clone Wars. So like Plo Koon is my favourite Jedi. He's in the game. It's a bit weird though, because there's one Jedi in it who has a red lightsaber, and I'm like, why does she have a red lightsaber? Like, that's like a Sith thing. But there's other games and stuff that I do want to play though. I wouldn't mind returning to the Pokemon like Pearl series that I did. I called it Pokemon Pearl Randomised, and I randomised the game so the Pokemon were randomised, like the starter Pokemon and also all the Pokemon in the world. I randomised like what Pokemon trainers had, gym leaders had, and I also randomised a few other things. Like I randomised the titles of everyone, so like the gym leaders weren't called gym leaders. I remember that one of the things that was funny to me at that time was when I came up against Team Galactic, they were called Schoolgirl Team Galactic, so I made a thumbnail where I basically made, like, I took some sort of like anime images that I found, and basically I changed the color of the outfits because Team Galactic light blue is their sort of main color, so I zoomed in on each of the images and I sort of tried to do some shading, and to be honest, I'm actually very happy with the way that it looks. But again, that video just tanked, and I don't know, my Pokemon videos just never seemed to get off the ground. Partially probably because the titles weren't great, but also I think it was just because I was a new channel and YouTube was just like, I don't know where to send this stuff, like we don't know who the fuck this guy is. But I would like to return to that series now that I have a little bit more experience with YouTube, and I feel like I could just make that series a little bit more entertaining. And also I love Pokemon, I always have, and basically I would just like to kind of express that a little bit more. I don't want to limit myself too much, because I feel that that is another thing that kind of stagnates my sort of creativity, is the fact that I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm doing PS1 games, so I can't play Pokemon as well, because that's a completely different thing. And I just want to do more stuff like that. I also would like to play sort of more, you know, Skyrim, and I haven't even played Oblivion on the channel yet. I've played a bit of Morrowind, but I would like to do more stuff like that, where I choose like a mod to play. I'd like to play more Fallout on the channel. If you don't know, there's a mod called Fallout London, which is coming out, or due to come out this year. Who knows whether it will get pushed back. I mean, even if it does, fine. But I do very much want to play that, because I already did one video about the like standalone releaser, which was a compilation of their weapons and armor mods. And strangely enough, that is the video that has had the most views on my channel. I mean, I think it's had over 7,000 views, which for me is huge. But the problem is, a lot of people haven't stuck around, mainly because the video is not actually that good. I think it has literally just turned a year old, so I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I remember when I edited it, I had to edit so much out, because I think I recorded for like about 2 hours or something, and the video itself is, I think it's about 20 minutes long, or a bit longer than that, maybe it's like 25 minutes or something like that. But I had to edit out so much, and I remember I got lost. Like, I was trying to find, basically there's like a plane that crashes, and then you go there, and then there's a merchant who sells you the stuff from the DLC, and it's a very short, like, it's not really even a quest mod, it's more like basically a showcase of their work. And it's still good, and the voice acting for the character you meet is very good, and it's funny because he's just this like Cockney bloke in the middle of Boston, and everyone's just very confused, first of all, why he's there in the first place, and they can't understand him because he's British, and there's a bit of a kind of stereotype that American people don't really understand other people from the rest of the world. But it was funny, yeah, and I enjoyed the mod, and I tried to showcase it, but I think I just basically released it at the right time, and I titled it correctly, and the thumbnail's not great by any means, but I think it was good enough. And yeah, so it just got a lot of views and a lot of attention, and I still get like a couple hundred every month and stuff, but like I said, because I haven't done anything else really like it, those people don't subscribe, and that's fair enough. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you upload a video and it does really well, and you don't really know why it did well, and YouTube doesn't really seem to give you any sort of reasons why it did well. They just kind of go, oh yeah, we sent this out through the algorithm, you know? And other times you'll put bloody hours and hours into a video trying to make it as good as you can, and you'll be happy with the result, and it just will tank. There'll be no views, no nothing. I mean, YouTube is a cruel mistress. I will 100% admit that. And obviously that is part of the reason why I've taken breaks in the past, recently and before, because sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, like, and I have no idea what YouTube is doing, and they change the features and the algorithm and different things so often that even when you try and stay up to date with the updates and the changes, it gets very overwhelming. And obviously they're trying to run a service, they're trying to make money, and millions of people are out there in the same situation as me trying to make something of themselves. And, you know, I think you just have to have a clear goal, but you also have to have sort of expectations for yourself and expectations for the channel, but you also have to be realistic. And I was just being realistic in the sense that I was like, yeah, this isn't really going anywhere, so I'm just going to kind of take a step back and have a think. But like I said, I feel like I'm kind of ready to get back into creating content, and we're just going to see what happens. I mean, I'll probably do this for like another year or two, and if it doesn't go anywhere, then hey, you know, I tried. But if it does, then great. You know, that's something that I can say that I've actually done with my life. I can add it to the old bucket list or whatever. So anyway, I think that's enough of a ramble for today. Just a quick thank you to everybody who's sort of chosen to watch my content over the past year, who's subscribed, liked, commented. I hope that my content will sort of continue to improve and actually make it worthy of you guys actually deciding to stick around. Apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.